you for being here. Thanks everyone online for being here. And let's just begin. So we can take our thumbs and tuck them into our fingers. Let your hands rest on your thighs if you'd like. If there's somewhere else you'd like your hands to be, feel free to put them there. Yeah, Tom's got it. You can take a nice deep breath. Just taking a few moments to bring our awareness to the three treasures. And in Chinese, we call the three treasures the Jing, the Qi, and the Shen. We can translate those many different ways. And for now, we can translate them as the body, and the breath, and the mind. So just taking a few moments to gather our awareness to each one of those three treasures, and I find it's helpful to go through them one at a time. And you can start anywhere, but I tend to begin with the body, and with the alignment of the body. Feeling the weight of our bones, feeling the ground beneath you, and maybe even taking a moment to just let yourself be held by the earth. It's one of those things that's sounds kind of almost silly. Like, well, of course, how are we not allowing ourselves to be held by the earth? But try it. Nowadays, it does seem that so many of us, all of us really, we've been conditioned or habituated to a kind of state of tension, being on guard or upset. So just taking a moment to feel the earth beneath you and allow yourself to be held by the earth. Just let go as much as you can. Let the tension in your body that you're aware of, with the help of gravity, just be held, absorbed even, by the earth. The earth can take it. The earth is an amazing thing with an ability to compost, to transform, to take the tension or the stuff that we want to let go of, our excretions, our excrement even, and turn it into flowers and trees and food and life. So just let yourself be held. You're allowed to be held by the earth. And allowing that support of the earth to move into your body and feeling the support of your body. Your alignment. And as you settle into an awareness of your physical sensations, your alignment between the earth and the sky. Your breathing may become more apparent. The second treasure, the breath, the Qi. And so expand your awareness to include the breath moving into and through you. You don't have to change your breath at all, but you may notice that as you attune to your breath, it may adjust a little on its own. So just attuning to how the breath is moving through your body, where it's moving. There might be places that feel like there's not much space for the breath, and so maybe inviting the breath into those areas and seeing what happens. What's there? If what's there feels like a lot, remember that you're being held by the earth, supported. You might even like to inhale deeply enough to feel your alignment stretch and expand. Maybe get some refinement to the alignment on the inhalation. And if you find some new space and something that feels good, long and deep and wide, as you exhale, you might see if you can maintain some of that. So as we're attuned to our bodies and the alignment of our bodies, and the breath moving into and through us and all around us, the third treasure is already there, the focus of the mind. And as you attune to your body and your breath, you might also, working with the mind, you might bring to mind an intention for this practice. And an invitation might be to allow that intention to be an unselfish intention. So even if the intention is to bring peace and calm to yourself, to move your body in a way that feels nourishing and supportive, we can do that for ourselves for the benefit of everyone and everything else. So that this practice can be a reminder that we are inseparable from everything else. We are connected, interconnected. And if we can keep that in mind with everything we do, that might help us to feel a little less tense. Help us feel a little more aligned with a sense of purpose. That feels meaningful. So these treasures, these three treasures, are the essence of Qigong practice. They're the beginning and the middle and the end. Maintaining an awareness of the body, the physical sensations, an awareness of the breath as it's moving into and through the body, an awareness of the mind and the focus of the mind, and an intention. So as we move through our practice, just remembering to return whenever it occurs to you to these three treasures. When we're done with this practice and we go out into our lives, whenever it occurs to you, returning to these three treasures so that everything becomes practice, becomes cultivation, becomes an expression of your cultivation. So as you're ready, we can bring our hands together and we can gently massage our palms together, maintaining an awareness of our alignment and our breath and the focus of our minds. And let's take a nice deep breath in together and shake it out. And again, rubbing the palms together. And as you're doing that, feel free to massage one hand with the other if that's what feels good. And again, let's take a deep breath in. Exhale. Freshening up the chi in our palms. Feeling the sensation of the palms as they rub together. And then we can bring our hands to our faces and let's massage our faces. And you can go up and out. And if up and out doesn't feel good, do something different. Just feel what this feels like. And when you're ready, another deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together. And every time that we exhale, feel free to exhale audibly, if that's what you're called to do. A nice sigh of relief, as often as possible, is a great medicine. Let's bring our fingertips to our scalps, and we can just run our fingertips over our scalps. And you can go front to back or back and forth, whichever way you'd like. If there's an area on your scalp that would like some extra attention and time, please give that area some extra attention and time. There are a lot of very good acupoints on the scalp for the eyes and the nose and the ears, for just helping to kind of dust off our sensory orifices, our doors of perception. And whenever you're ready, your hands can slide down the back of your neck and around, and a nice deep breath in. And out. And let's rub our palms together. Breathing through the whole body. Every time you breathe, it's the only time in your whole life you're going to take that breath. So enjoy it. Yeah. Let's take our palms and we can cup them over our eyes. Gentle pressure to your eye sockets. Your eyelids can be open or closed. And just let your eyes be nourished by the dark. Maybe take some time to feel into the muscles around your eyes. Feel into the inside of your eye socket. This is an area where we can hold a lot of tension, but not necessarily notice it because the inside of our eye sockets aren't a place that we tend to think about. Qigong is a practice of radical self-awareness. So feeling, noticing, taking some time to notice aspects of ourselves, our bodies, our breaths, our minds that otherwise we might not. And then as you're ready, another deep breath in and out. Rubbing the palms together, breathing into every cell. We'll take the base of the left wrist in between the eyes and just gently draw your hand across your forehead. And then off to the side, and we'll do the same thing with the other hand. And even as you're doing it, maybe lifting your eyebrows up and down. In between the eyebrows and the forehead, this is a place that can be very difficult to relax. But if we can relax this area, it can help the rest of our body to relax. So as the hand is coming across the forehead, maybe even tracing over that upper eye socket, that upper eyebrow area, just relaxing some of that tension, smoothing out some of that concern. Just feeling what this feels like. And whenever you finish the next pass with whichever hand you're using, we'll take a deep breath and shake it out. And rub our palms together. And breathe deeply through the whole body. And then we can take the edge of our thumbs to either side of our nose and we can massage from the base of the nose up to the bridge of the nose, in between the eyes, and we can move back and forth between these two spots. If you want to hang out over one area or the other, you can do that. Breathing through the nose, stimulating the sinuses. And again, when you're ready, deep breath in. Shake it out. Freshening up the chi in the hands. Breathing into every cell. Refreshing and renewing every cell. Every moment, every breath is a big bang. Let's take our thumbs on either side of our mouth, one hand below, one hand above, and we can draw back and forth, massaging our lips and our gums, generating saliva. You can go slow, you can go fast, you can mix it up. See what feels good. Maybe it all feels good. Maybe some things feel better than others. Try things out, see what happens. Learn about yourself. And this self today may like different things than the self from yesterday did. That's okay. Deep breath in and out. Rubbing the palms, breathing deeply. Now let's take our palms and make forward circles over our ears. Massaging our ears. And if you'd like, you can bring your hands past your ears on the side of your head and then gently fold your ears over. Drag your hands over the ears and then past the ears, and again, dragging them over. One more time. And then a nice deep breath in and out. Rubbing the palms together. Now let's do our self shoulder massage. We'll begin with the left arm. We're going to just let it swing up to the right shoulder, fall away. And the other side, just alternating side to side, letting gravity do most of the work. Seeing how easy we can be with this. And I find it can be useful to just put some of my attention on my hand as it's swinging up. It's like whenever I do that, it just seems like it lands a little differently, literally and figuratively. And feel, where does the sensation travel? Does it go down through your body? Does it travel across, laterally, horizontally? Does it stay right underneath your hand, going nowhere? All of that is okay. It's not supposed to do anything other than, I would say, maybe feel good. If it doesn't feel good, feel free to adjust. You know, if it feels better to land out, further out on the shoulder joint, you can do that. You can try different things. You can make this your practice. You can come up with a way of doing this that is new and different. And then you've just created a new Qigong form. And you can share it with all of us. And we will be grateful. Let's do one more on each side. And then a big breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together. So that spot on top of our shoulders, along with the spot in between our eyes, those are two of the areas in the body that hold a lot of tension. And if we can help them to relax, it can help the rest of us to relax. The rest of us being us, our bodies, and us, everyone around us. So let's open our chests. So let's bring our right fingertips into a beak. Find the bottom of your left collarbone and slide out into the hollow space near the shoulder joint. Let's find our left fingertips into a beak and find the bottom of your right rib cage and just trace it down, and eventually you'll find a little notch. Everybody has it. And then we can just tap these two spots. And as you're tapping them, you can make some small circles or explore the area. The lower area, it might be halfway on the bone or halfway on your abdomen or more or less one or the other. Just feel around. And as you're feeling around, a spot in one or both of these spots may become a little more apparent, and you can hang out there. And continue to tap. Doesn't have to be too hard. Doesn't need to be uncomfortable. But as you're tapping, see if you can breathe into the space in between these 2 points. Maybe feel a connection between these 2 points that's facilitated by the tapping, facilitated by your breathing, facilitated by your awareness, your attention and intention. See if you can breathe all the way through from the front to the back side of your rib cage. Breathe deeply. The rib cage, the lungs are like the sky. Fill the whole sky with your breath. Breathe the whole sky. Be the whole sky. We've got a lot of different weather patterns in the sky, but the sky is not the weather. We've got a lot of different emotions in our hearts and chests and minds and bodies. But we're not the emotions or the stories associated with the feelings and the thoughts. We are the sky. And then when you're ready, you can transition to soft patting and maybe open hands, maybe just massaging and rubbing these areas, continuing to breathe. And then when you're ready, we'll change sides. So the left fingertips come together, find the right collarbone, the bottom, and slide out into that hollow space near the shoulder joint. Right fingertips to the bottom of the left rib cage and just trace it down until you find a little notch. And then we can just gently tap, making small circles if you'd like, feeling these areas. Different sides of the body can sometimes feel very different from each other, so take the time to get to know this area. What's going on here? What does this area feel like? How does the breath move between these 2 points? How does it feel to breathe all the way through to the back side of the rib cage? How does it feel to fill the whole sky with your breath? To breathe in the whole sky. And as you're ready, you can transition to Gentle patting with open hands, and then maybe even just massaging. And again, a nice deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together and breathing. Bringing our hands over our lower ribs, we can massage our lower ribs. And by doing that, our hands may naturally start to move onto our bellies, and so you can let that happen. You can massage the lower ribs, the bellies, the belly. If you'd like, you can bring one hand over your chest and another over the abdomen, and over time, maybe switch which hand is on top. And just finding a way of doing this that feels good. You can make circles, both hands can be together, each hand can be doing its own thing. You can go in one direction or another. You don't have to do as I'm doing. You can try other stuff. Feel what you need. Is there an area that's holding some tension? If there is, you can maybe bring some awareness there with your touch, your intention, your breath. And when you're ready, we can move the hands around the waist to the area of the low back, the kidneys, the lumbar spine, the lower ribs, the SI joint. And then we're going to draw our hands out, so we'll draw them out, shake them out. Rubbing the palms together. Yeah, feel free to adjust your seat as needed if your feet are going numb. This is the long one. Now we'll massage our arms. Beginning with the left arm, a little tap to the fingertips, up the outside, down the inside. Going with the flow of the meridians in the body. And as we do this, yes, we're massaging our arms. We're bringing awareness into what our arms feel like. And also, we're acknowledging there is an outside that's coming into us. And there is an inside that's moving out of us. There is an exchange that is happening. It's always happening, whether we want it to or not. So how can we be in harmony with the reality of our interdependence? Let's come up one more time, and then down, tapping the fingertips, other side, up the outside, down the inside. And you can go fast or slow. You can use a lot of pressure, you can be very light with it. Just finding a way that feels appropriate to you for right now. And we can come up one more time, and then down. Deep breath in. Shake it out. Rubbing the palms together. We're almost there. So if you're seated on the ground, you can bring your feet out in front of you. And if you're in a chair, if you're able to get to your feet, you can do that. It's just as nice to massage around your knee joints and your thighs and your upper, leg and calf muscles. So doing what feels good, what's accessible. If you are massaging your feet, you can massage the bottom of your feet with your thumbs and the top of your feet in between the long bones with your fingers, maybe squeezing and pinching and inviting the blood to move back through the feet, waking them up. And if you're massaging the bottom of your feet with your thumbs, you can follow the funnel down, find the deepest hollow on the bottom of the foot. If you're massaging around the knees or the knee joints, find the center of the backside of the knee. Both of these points are very grounding and stabilizing. So just tuning in to the sensation. And then from here, we can draw our hands up the inside of the legs and around the hips and down the outside. Just going down as far as feels comfortable. And using as much or as little pressure as feels good. I tend to use a little more pressure on my legs just because it feels good. And then we'll come up one more time, and around and down and out. Nice deep breath in, shaking it out, rubbing the palms together. We can take our thumbs back into our fingers, let our hands rest back on our thighs, and for just a few moments, returning to an awareness of your body and the sensations of your alignment. Take a moment to feel the earth beneath you and allow yourself to be held, supported by the earth. Allow things that are heavy to sink so that things that are light can float. And with that sinking down and that floating up, you may feel some space, and take a nice deep breath into all of that space. And when you're ready, you can slowly open your eyes. All right. Well, that was a good 40 minutes. Wow. Thanks for doing that with me. Any questions about anything? Anything that we did there or otherwise?
I'm wondering about the spot where you touch the clavicle.
Where we were tapping like this?
Am I doing it in the right place?
So underneath the collarbone.
Yeah.
If you come under, there you go, and then if you slide out just a little bit towards your shoulder, there's a nice big hollow in there.
Okay.
That's where we're going.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is the beginning of the lung meridian. And so, there's also, we have some muscles that attach right in this spot. So right here, actually it's very interesting, on our shoulder blade we have a little protrusion that sticks out from our back. And we have a muscle from our chest that inserts right on that protrusion. And so a lot of times tension can kind of pull us forward from that muscle. And then that leaves us with less space to breathe. We're not breathing all the way up. And so part of what we're doing here is helping to relax that, to get the shoulders to move back and down and open up, and then we have more room to breathe up higher in our lungs. Yeah, it's really interesting. If we don't breathe all the way up into our lungs, the top of our lungs actually will fall over like puppy ears, you know. And when I first heard that, I thought that, I was like, wow, that's amazing. So, you know, we want to keep those up. And, you know, in the areas that we're not breathing through our lungs, that's where things can tend to accumulate, you know. So whether that's bacteria, fungus, virus, whatever, it could just, it's almost like a, you know, lungs are very spongy tissue, and so it's almost like an old sponge that just doesn't have a chance to get stuff moving through it. So that's part of why we do that. Yeah, thank you for that question. Anything else? Okay. Well, before we stand, I just wanted to mention briefly, we are, today's the 19th, so we're a day or two away from the first day of the second phase of autumn. So we are in autumn according to the Chinese calendar, and this phase that we're moving into is called the limit or the end of heat. So, you know, thank goodness, because it's been a very hot summer. You know, typically they say in the second phase of any season is when you really start to feel that season in the beginning and the ends of the days. So it's not so much in the middle of the day, it's more when we get to the equinox, you know, the high point, where we're kind of feeling that season all the way through. So right now, you might notice, like, the mornings and the evenings are still, they're still pretty warm, because the earth is out of balance, but they're getting cooler. So it's starting to happen. And so when we've talked about autumn and the kind of coming to the end of a cycle and reflectiveness, tuning inwards. And so, you know, when it starts to get a little bit cooler, there's that kind of voice of like, oh, right, winter is coming. You know, it's going to be colder. And if we were living, you know, when these terms, these seasonal nodes were kind of come up with or named, you know, a couple thousand years ago, it's like, uh-oh, like, winter is coming. Do we have enough food to make it through the winter? Like, what's going on? Are we ready? Will we survive? And so, you know, this is this idea of limit of heat or limit of yang, limit of this expansion and kind of this, you know, vibrant, life-giving energy. We're kind of at the limit. It's going to start retracting a little bit now. So how are we with that? Like, what comes up for us when we think about that? If we think about a life cycle, and autumn is like moving into older age, elderhood, and there's that, okay, I only have a certain amount of time left. How do we feel about that? What comes up in those moments? You know, this is the time to be with that, to be inward, to be reflective, to take the time, and to know that there's still time to do something. You know, it's like, oh, geez, the granary isn't that full, but there's also still a lot of grain that needs to be processed and put in there. So how about let's do that as opposed to hanging out by the pond and swimming all day long, you know? Like, what was it, the grasshopper and the ant or somebody, you know? It's like, you got to do your chores to make it. So just that's kind of the theme of where we are in this seasonal node for the next couple of weeks. Okay. Thank you. Now we can stand up and let's do some practice. And if you'd prefer to remain seated, or if at any time you need to sit down, feel free to do that. All right. So, I've just spent the past 5 days on an online workshop, and so it was a lot of, you know, 11.5-hour days.
Wow.
With a lot of that, can you open the door for this person, please? Yeah, and a lot of that time was seated in front of a computer. So, just so you know, that's where I'm coming from, which is why I would like to start with, maybe just standing and kind of bouncing a little bit, loosening ourselves up. We were also just seated for a long time, so feel free to just do that, and as much or as little as feels good to you. So, it could be very small, very subtle, but it can also be, higher frequency. You can turn side to side, you can put your hands up over your head, you can hinge at your hips and fold yourself over as you're shaking, you can stand on one leg and kick out your legs if that's available to you. Like, this is free and spontaneous, so you don't have to do as I'm doing. The invitation is to just shake a little bit and just feel what that feels like. Breathing deeply. And I find shaking is one of the best times to engage the sigh of relief, the deep breath in and the audible exhale. So feel free to do that as you're called to do it. If you'd like to practice the ancient art of blithering, you're welcome to do that as well, kind of shaking your face or burbling, blithering your lips, whatever you need. Yeah. It's like if somebody walked by right now and saw us, they'd be like, whoa, what's going on with those people? Which I think is a good thing. We need more of that in the world to kind of shake us out of our roboticism. It's like, I was reading some article about how nowadays you go to college parties and nobody's doing anything because they're afraid of getting filmed and being captured, being silly. And then it'll be posted and that's how they will be remembered forever. So it's like, I say, let's get silly. Let's be like, put this on your Instagram feed. I don't care. So just knowing that we're doing this and it's rippling out beyond this room, just helping to liberate other people who feel too constrained, too tense to just be spontaneous and free. We can feel freedom and we can let that feeling be shared.
I think you need pad thai today.
Okay, we have a request for the padai. All right, so let's do that. So letting our shaking winding down. We can rub our palms together. So we're going to pat through our whole bodies. Everywhere we pat, we're going to do two counts of 8. We'll do the whole thing, and then we'll do the whole thing again. So the first time we're learning how to do it, the second time we'll just do it. And, it's an efficient little practice, but we're not in a hurry. We're not rushing. The first couple places we pat will be our head, on our head, so pat lightly. And I'll count out the sequence of 8. I learned how to count it in Chinese, so that's how I'll do it. So let's begin by patting our cheeks. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。Side of the head. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。Back of the head. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。Top of the head. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。Other hand. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。Forehead. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。Other hand. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8。Neck. 一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Upper chest，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Shoulders，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Under the arm，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Elbows，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Back of the hand，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Lower ribs，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Belly。一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Lower back，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Glutes，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Hip creases，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Thighs，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Back of the knees，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Legs，一二三四。And exhale. 2 more gathering breaths. Slowing everything down. Slow your breath down. Slow your movement down. Slow your mind down. Standing and breathing. So we'll do that one more time. I won't call out where we're going, we're just going to move through. So if you get lost, it's easy to catch up. Let's begin. Rubbing the palms together. Nice deep breath. Find your alignment. And we'll begin with our cheeks. 1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、2、2、3、4、5、6、7、8、1、 二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八，一二三四五六七八，二二三四五六七八。Inhale. Exhaling. Taking your time, 2 more breaths. Allowing the movement of the body and the breath to help harmonize the mind and the body and the breath. So just feeling the effects of the practice, feeling the movement that's still going on within the body, even as we're not moving as much as we just were. And just gently, maybe rocking front to back or side to side, just kind of feeling the surface area of your feet. Let your knees soften, maybe even a little more than you think they need to, just so that you can find maybe what's too much and come out of that just a little bit. So soft knees. If you'd like to lift the toes up, you can. So not lifting the balls of the feet or the front of the foot off the ground, just the toes. Really rooting into that big toe mound, spreading the floor apart to find the outer edges of the feet. Maybe sinking down into the heel bones, feeling the density of your heel bones on the earth. Sinking into that, and also rising up out of that, but not to the point where your knees lock. Taking a nice deep breath up the back side of the body, filling the back of the rib cage, and thinking about the backs of the skull lifting up off of the neck and shoulders, up and slightly back, so the chin slightly tucks, the back of the neck is nice and long, the top of the head is opening towards the sky. And as you get this stretch and this length, just see if you can invite your breath into all of the space. And as you breathe in and you get a little more stretch through the sides and the top of the rib cage and widening through the collarbones, as you exhale, see if you can maintain some of that lift and loft. So we don't want to breathe in and then just deflate. It's not what we're going for. We want to breathe in and see if we can maintain it as we exhale, which engages the core. It engages the lower dantian. Again, that's a phrase in Qigong and Tai Chi you hear a lot. Engage the lower dantian. A lot of times we think of that as just a conceptual kind of mental thing. It's also a very physical thing. So again, breathing wide and tall and deep and long. And as you exhale, maintain all of that lift. You'll feel the abdomen lengthen, engage all the way around. That's your lower dantian. strong center. So from here, let's inhale and just let the hands float up in front of us. And then exhale right back down. The knees can soften a little bit. Let's move like this. It's nice that a lot of these movements have these evocative names. This one I've heard called painting the waterfall. So just thinking about that. This idea that we're painting, you know, if you've ever seen The Karate Kid, up, down. Painting up. And also flowing like a waterfall. The knees can soften. Inhaling on the way up. And exhaling on the way down. And your arms only need to go up as high as feels comfortable. If shoulder level or less is what feels comfortable, feel free to do that. If up overhead, maybe even straight up overhead, like a big stretch, is what feels comfortable, do that. As the hands come down, they can stay just by your sides as the knee bends, or they can go further back. As you exhale, the knees might bend, the hips might hinge back, the hands might move past the midline, and then you can float up. So again, each movement is an opportunity to explore. It doesn't need to be the same way that I'm doing it. It doesn't need to be the same way that you've been doing it. You can invite some variety, some change. Like how did we get all of these Qigong forms to begin with? It may have started with just one movement like this, and then someone, after a little while, was like, what if I did it this way? And that became the next movement. So the next time the hands float up, rather than coming down, let the arms come out by the sides. And inhale the hands up the front of the body, and then out to the sides. Inhale, as the hands come up, turn the palms up and look up. And then exhale, the hands come around. Make soft fists. Press your fists together. Long, slow inhale as we come up. Palms up, looking up, a gentle arch to the back. Exhale. Soft fist with the hands. Press the fist together. Bring the chin towards the chest. Squeeze. Again, inhale. Exhale. Moving at your pace with your breath. Moving like this for a little while. Inhaling, stretching. Exhaling, fists with the hands. If you'd like, you can make fists with your feet. You can scrunch your face. Bring yourself out like a sponge, and then inhale. And let the rebound fill you up like a sponge. And wring yourself out. Pumping chi and blood and lymph fluid through the whole body. Squeeze it all out. And then breathe it in. We'll do 3 more. Take your time, enjoy, savor the opportunity of this movement. 2 more. Bringing yourself out, squeeze it out. Last one, inhaling up. Exhaling around, squeezing out. This time as you inhale, roll yourself up. The hands float up to the throat area and then exhaling down. And let's do this for a little bit. Inhale up to your throat. And exhale down. Take your time, slow it down. In and out. So the next time that we inhale, same thing with the hands, shift your weight towards the windows. Pivot towards the mirrors. Exhale the hands down. As you rock forward, you can adjust your back foot and then inhale up. And then exhale, hands out, float up with the hands, inhale back in. So now we're making nice big circles, exhaling down and out, inhaling back and up, not too high, out, rocking off the back heel, in, coming off the front toes. So we have a nice rhythmic rocking movement. Couple more here. One more. This time the hands are low. Inhale, come back to center, hands to the throat. Exhale down. Let's breathe in the center here. Slowing down, yeah. There's no hurry. We can just linger here. Next inhalation, shift your weight towards the mirrors, pivot towards the windows, exhale the hands down. You can adjust your back foot, inhale in. Yeah, and there you go. Exhaling down, hands can float up. Inhale back in. Exhaling, the back heel can come up. Inhale, the front toes can lift. Harmonizing the breath with the movement. Maybe slowing the breath down, slowing the movement down, relaxing. There's nowhere to get to. We've made it. We're at our goal. Our goal is to just move and breathe intentionally with conscious awareness. We're here. Let's enjoy being here. Nothing else to do. Nothing else to achieve. We have all become enlightened. Really, we always were. Let's do a couple more. Inhaling in and out. In and out. And this time, when you inhale in, come back to the center. And exhale down. Breathing here, nice and slow. Let's introduce some brain training, a little neuroplasticity. So the same movement, we'll just kind of make it more of a flow from one side to the other. Inhaling and exhaling. So on the next inhale, we'll shift towards the windows and pivot. Exhale. Inhale in, turn back to center. Exhale down. Let's take a breath here. In and out. This time we'll inhale, shift towards the mirrors, pivot. Exhale. As we inhale in, come back to center. And exhale. Good. We'll take a breath. Doing that again. So in, pivot, out, inhale back to center, and out. This time, inhale, pivot the other way, and out. In, back to center, and out. Even though we're doing a lot, go slow. In, out. Slow it down. In, back to center, and out. In, pivot, out. In, back to center, and down. Great. One more time. Back to center, exhale. In, pivot, out. In, back to center, and down. Inhale, palms back to back. Exhale, open. Let's do that 2 more times. Palms back to back. Inhale. Exhale. Slowing the breath down, slowing the movement down, slowing the mind down. In. And out. Now, nice and easy, let's open our heart in 4 directions. So inhale up to the heart. Exhale forward. We're going to do a slightly different sequence this time. Inhale. Out to the sides. Inhale, we're going down. Inhale, and up. And around. Take a breath up to the heart. Wide or as far as it will go. Sorry. Inhaling, opening the heart as wide as it will go. Nice and easy. In, opening the heart as deep as it will go. In, opening the heart as high as it will go, out and around. One more time. Out in front. In, out to the sides. In, deep. In, up and out. Let's do that one more time at least. Breathing in and out. Breathing in and down. Breathing in, up and out. Okay, gotta do one more. Yeah. Taking our time. Last one. Let the hands come up and over the head and around the base of the neck, under the collarbones, and down the backside of the body. Just as low as can go. Up the front, our alternative tracing, both hands cross the chest and out the arms. Bring your palms to face you. Over your head and back. Under the collarbones and armpits and down. Up the front, over the chest, cross, out both arms. Palms face you. Again, over and back. Under and down. Up the front, crossing the chest, out both arms, palms face. Again, over and back. Under and down. Up the front, out the arms. Palms face. Over, back, under, down, up. For those on Zoom, the hands come out, and then the palms face. Over, under and down. Up the front, out the arms, and then let's inhale up and open. Let's let this window hand come down and across. And then this hand floats up as the other hand floats down, and we'll bring both hands across. And then make one side of a square with the hands. Make the top and the bottom of a square. And then the other side. And let your body rotate. It's the rotation of the torso that brings the hands along with them. So my hands, my arms don't even move. It's just my body is turning. If it's, very regimented, just the body. Pressing through my feet, up my legs to get my torso to turn, and then my arms come along for the ride. So arms not moving at all. Once you have that sensation of the torso moving the arms, then there can be a little more integration. Maybe a little more flow starts to happen. You can invite that energy from the legs and the torso out the arms. So the square starts to become more of a circle. There's a little kind of flow, this flowy connection that's happening between the torso and the arms. Starts to become a little more fluid, like we're melting ice into water. The water is flowing and eventually becoming steam. Hands coming across, switching the hands and moving. If you'd like to harmonize the breath with the movement, when we switch hands, we inhale and then exhale as the hands flow across. In and out. In and out. And the breath pattern may necessitate a slower movement. One more time, we'll switch. When the hand comes in front of your face, you can pause. Bring the other hand up. We can bring the hands to the hips. Take a nice breath in. And then exhale like you're digging into the earth. Inhale, gather it up. And then exhale, invite this energy into the body. Down to the lower dantian. Breathing in. Exhale. You don't have to go too deep if you don't want to. Inhale. Exhale. And it's more, the spine stays nice and tall. We're inhaling and then exhaling. Nice and tall. In and out. Gathering. Receiving. In and out. Slow movements. Harmonized with a slow breath. Allowing the mind, the nervous system to slow down. In and out. One more. In and out. In and down. Let the hands float down over the lower dantian. We can fold one hand over the other. And from here, let's let the hands move back up just at the bottom of the throat and gently move the hands down the front of the body. If you'd like, you can inhale up and exhale down. take your time. Harmonize the movement of your hands with your breath. It may take a while. Inhale. And exhale. Guide the chi down deep into the belly. In and out. Let's do 3 more. Take your time. Two more. Allow this to nourish you. Receive the nourishment. As the hands move down over the lower belly, they can stay there. If you need to, maybe roll your shoulders up and back. Just let the shoulders be relaxed. The arms hanging gently by the sides of the body, the hands over the belly. Maybe lifting the toes, finding the hard parts of the bottom of your feet, making sure the knees are soft, gently lifting up and back through the base of the skull, lengthening the back of the neck, slightly tucking the chin. Breathing in the backside of the rib cage, behind the heart. And we can gently massage our belly. And around the waist, to the lower back. Let's draw the hands out. Gently shake them out. And just stand and drift for a moment. So not needing to do anything in particular other than just attune to your body, to the space around you, the space within you. Exchanging breath, exchanging chi with the universe. During this workshop I was in over the past 5 days, I learned that the root of the word saunter, it's like sanctitare, I'm not pronouncing that right, but really it means holy ground. To saunter is to walk on holy ground. The story is that back in the day when people made pilgrimages, if someone wasn't physically able to make it to the actual pilgrimage site, they just sauntered. Wherever they were walking was the holy ground. And so I just want to bring that forward as an intention for us moving forward from this class. You know, in our current system where we all tend to be a little tense, a little harried and hurrying from one place to the next, getting things done. It can be a medicine to slow down, to just saunter, to know that wherever you are is holy ground. And so walk on the ground, honoring the fact that it is holy ground. Take the time to be with where you are, with what's around you, whatever that is. If it's nature, if it's trees, if it's buildings. That in itself is a kind of blessing that you're offering and that you're receiving, that you're sharing. thank you for sharing this practice with me. Before we end, let's do 3 sighs of relief because they're just lovely. So, nice breath in. Yeah, breathe in the blessing, offer the blessing. One more. Great. Maybe just a little rubbing of the palms. A couple times on the face. Back and forth or front to back over the scalp and then around and down. Palms together in front of the heart. Head gently bowed towards the hands and the heart. Thank you for taking the time to practice, to benefit yourselves, and to benefit everything and everyone everywhere. I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope you take the time to saunter. And we'll see you next time.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. We'll see you next time.